The den trembled under heavy footsteps. Low growls echoed through the darkness. Something hungry has found them. She wakes instantly, hand on her weapon. The honey badger stiffens beside her. Both sense death nearby. Moonlight reveals glowing eyes at the den's mouth. A hyena circles, laughing softly. It knows this place is weak. The woman steps forward, slow and controlled. Her clothes are torn, her face hardened. Fear does not stop her. The hyena charges suddenly. Dust explodes into the air. The honey badger screams. She shouts, standing her ground. The hyena hesitates for a breath. That breath saves them. The honey badger lunges without fear. Teeth clamp into the hyena's leg. Chaos erupts. The hyena howls, snapping wildly. She moves to protect the den. Instinct takes over. She throws a burning branch forward. Firelight floods the scene. Shadows dance like nightmares. The hyena retreats briefly, circling. Its hunger hasn't faded, only its confidence has. The honey badger bleeds, but stands tall, small, but unstoppable. The woman kneels beside it. Another charge, faster, angrier. She steps in front again, human against predator. The hyena snaps inches from her face, its breath hot and foul. Time slows. She strikes the ground hard. Dust blinds the attacker. The moment shifts. The honey badger attacks again, relentless. Pain makes the hyena panic. Fear spreads. The woman advances instead of retreating. Her eyes never blink. Predators recognize resolve. The hyena backs away, limping. Still dangerous, still watching, still deciding. She holds position, guarding the den. No victory scream, only survival. The honey badger hisses, daring the hyena back. The message is clear. This place is defended. The hyena finally turns away. Not defeated, repelled. Sometimes that is enough. Silence returns slowly. The woman exhales, hands shaking now. She tends the honey badger's wounds. Gentle hands after violence. Connection born in blood. Dawn creeps over the land. The den still stands. So do they. She looks to the horizon. More threats will come. She knows this. The honey badger rests beside her. Alive, defiant, unbroken. Scars remain in the dirt. Proof of the night. Proof of courage. She sharpens her blade quietly. Preparation never ends. Survival demands respect. The den breathes again. Safe for now. Earned, not given. She stands watch as the sun rises fully. A woman alone, yet not weak. Never weak. The land remembers this night. So will the predators. This den is not easy prey. When the night finally loosened its grip on the land, it did not leave quietly. It faded the way fear always does, slowly, reluctantly, as if unwilling to admit defeat. The air still carried the scent of dust, blood, and danger. The ground bore the marks of violence, scars etched into the soil where instinct had clashed with hunger. Nothing here would forget what happened in the darkness. She remained still at the mouth of the den, eyes fixed on the horizon, listening. In places like this, silence was never peace. It was only a pause, a breath held between one threat and the next. She understood that better than most. Survival had taught her that the wild never truly ends a fight. It merely postpones it. Beside her, the honey badger shifted, injured yet unbroken. Small in size, relentless in spirit. Its body told the story of the night more clearly than words could ever. Bite marks, matted fur, shallow wounds earned in defiance. It had faced a predator larger, faster, and more experienced, and it had not yielded. Neither had she. The hyena was gone now. Not dead, not conquered, but driven away. And in the wild, that distinction matters. Death ends a threat. Respect prevents it from returning. Tonight, respect was earned the only way nature recognizes, through resolve. She exhaled slowly, the tension draining from her muscles at last. Only now did her hands begin to tremble. Only now did her body acknowledge how close the line had been. Fear always arrives late, once survival no longer needs courage. It creeps in after the danger passes, replaying moments that might have ended differently. But she did not allow it to take hold. Instead, she knelt beside the honey badger, her movements careful, almost reverent. There was no triumph in her expression, no smile of victory, only quiet gratitude. In the wild, survival is not a win, it is a responsibility. To live means to be ready to face the next night. As dawn began to bleed into the sky, pale light filtered across the den. Colors returned slowly, cautiously, as if the land itself was testing whether it was safe to wake. The brutal shadows softened, the world revealed what the darkness had hidden. The torn earth, the broken grass, the unmistakable signs of a battle fought without witnesses. She looked out across the open land, knowing that somewhere beyond her sight, the hyena still lived. It would remember this place. It would remember pain. Predators learn quickly. They learn where not to waste energy, where the cost is too high. That knowledge was enough. The honey badger settled beside her, breathing steady now. Its presence was grounding, a reminder that courage does not come from size or strength alone. It comes from refusal, from the decision to stand when running would be easier, from the instinct to protect what little ground you claim in a world that takes without apology. She understood that instinct intimately. This land had never been kind to her. It had tested her from the moment she arrived, through hunger, isolation, loss, and endless nights where every sound carried the promise of teeth. Yet she had endured, not by conquering the wild, but by learning its language, by respecting its rules while refusing to be erased by them. The den behind her was more than shelter. It was proof that survival leaves marks not only on the body, but on the land itself. Proof that even in a place ruled by predators, boundaries could be drawn and defended. As the sun climbed higher, warmth returned, but she did not relax. She never would. Survival was not a moment, it was a state of mind, a constant readiness, a quiet vigilance sharpened by experience. The wild rewards complacency with death. She rose slowly, scanning the terrain one final time before turning inward. The night had taken something from her, energy, blood, certainty, but it had given something back as well. Confirmation. She was not weak. She had never been. The hyena believed the den was easy. The mistake was costly. Somewhere beyond the hills, other predators would hunt. Other dens would fall. Other creatures would learn the same lessons the hard way. This was the cycle. Brutal, unfair, unchanging, and yet within it, moments like this existed. Moments where resistance mattered, where survival pushed back. She rested her hand briefly against the earth, feeling its cold firmness beneath her palm. The ground remembered everything. It remembered fear, it remembered blood, and now it remembered defiance. When she finally stepped back into the den, it was not as someone hiding from the world, but as someone who had faced it and endured. The honey badger followed, limping but proud, a small shadow moving through the growing light. Outside, the land returned to its routines. Birds called, the wind moved through the grass. Life continued as if nothing extraordinary had occurred. But something had changed. The den was no longer just a place of shelter. It was a line that had been crossed and redrawn, a message written not in words, but in scars and memory. In the wild, stories are not told, they are carried in caution, carried in hesitation, in the way predators choose their targets and the way prey stands its ground. This night would be carried forward. And when darkness returned, as it always does, it would remember. Because survival is not about being fearless, it is about standing anyway. And tonight, the wild learned that this den was not unguarded. It was defended.